you ever felt a knife cut through human flesh and scrape the bone beneath?
Hi, I'm Mike Butler.
And I'm Mike Field.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema Lead Up. Each episode, we highlight a film that from a popular series and follow it all the way to the most recent release. We'll discuss what we love about the movie or maybe don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it, even the not so good ones. Let's get into it.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. You know, after the horrific events of my senior year in high school, I just wanted to put the past behind me. I'm going to a new school, a new college, a little bit further away. I've got a new love interest. I've got new friends, some old friends that survived. And but you know what? My story still haunts me. I cannot leave the town of Westboro behind. Cotton is out, the guy who was sleeping with my mother, who I accused of murdering her, but turns out didn't murder her. Gail Weathers is still trying to report on this incident that happened that made her famous too, just like me. I'm currently super famous, and all of a sudden, my friends are getting picked off again. People are getting picked off. Turns out Ghostface is back, and you know, I'm just really tired of it. I just wanted a normal life. It turns out that's not going to happen because I'm Sidney Prescott.
That's right. You are forever in trouble with Ghostface, whoever that Ghostface is for whichever movie we watch. That's right. So we are doing Scream 2. This is a part of our lead-up series, leading up all the way to Scream 7, which I'm kind of excited for. I just shared the new poster today on our Instagram. So I thought it was pretty cool because it's very harkens back to the first one. So, and I'll talk to you on off air, Butler, about I kind of think I know what the seventh one's going to be. But anyways, let's get into Scream 2. Let's get into the facts, and then we'll talk about the movie. I've seen these Scream films a bunch of times. We're actually starting to get into the realm of where Butler has not seen these. So it'll be kind of like an interesting back and forth because it's obviously mine maybe like 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th time watching these, and it's Mike's first or second. So it'll be good. So Scream 2 is a runtime of 120 minutes. It's rated R, production budget of $24 million. It came out December 12th, 1997. So a year after this last one. That was a Friday, of course. Its opening weekend, it did $33 million. Its domestic take was $101 million. Its international take was $71 million for a worldwide total of $172 million. Not bad for a budget.
Oh,
exactly. Production company was Dimension Films. They were also the distributor. You also had production companies of Conrad Pictures, Craven, Madalena Films, Miramax, and Maven Entertainment. I said this film came out on the 12th of December, 1997. Let's go back a week to the 5th. We know how December is chock full of movies. The 5th of December, you had a limited release of Good Will Hunting. You also had, if you go to the 10th of December, which is the Wednesday before this came out, you had a limited release of Amistad. And then this film went up against in a wide release on the 12th, Home Alone 3, For Richer or Poorer, and a limited release of Deconstructing Henry. That is a Woody Allen film. The week after, the 19th of December, you had a wide release of Butler's favorite, Tomorrow Never Dies. The little film that could, Titanic, and Mouse Hunt, which is Butler Mouse Hunt.
Oh, we did Mouse Hunt on the show.
There you go. On the main show. That's right. And the limited release of The Apostle, which is a blanking on his name, Robert Duvall film. And then I got one more. The Wednesday after, the 23rd, probably like 10 days after this came out, you had a limited release of As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson film, Helen Hunt.
Love that movie.
Kinnear. Very good film. Very good movie. All right. Wes Craven returns as director for this film for Scream 2. If you don't know his credits, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hills Have Eyes, Cursed.
Yeah, movie we did.
There you go. I was waiting. I'll come frozen.
Werewolf giving somebody the middle finger. Best part of that movie.
That's right. Written by Kevin Williamson. He has returned as well. If you remember from our previous lead up, we talked about how at the back end of the Scream script. He had a 5-page treatment for what Scream 2 would be. So I would just assume that this is what it is. He also has done I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Faculty, and he's the writer-director of Scream 7 that's coming out. Cinematographer is Peter Deming. He is actually also returning from Scream. If you remember what we talked about last time with the lead up, the original cinematographer Mark Irwin, I believe.
I don't remember the name, but yeah, I remember what happened.
Yeah, was let go. Peter Deming came in and kind of finished off. So he obviously continues on with the series. He's done Mulholland Drive, The Menu, and From Hell.
A movie we did quite a long time ago.
A long time ago, I know. Composer was Marco Beltrami, who's also returning, nominated for an Oscar for 3:10 to Yuma and The Hurt Locker. Patrick Lussier is the editor. Oh, that's right, 3:10. I apologize. Yep, 3:10 to Yuma is a film we did. Edited by Patrick Lussier, who's also returned. He's done New Nightmare. Movie we did this past Forgotten Horror. That's right. Mimic. And then H2O. Halloween H2O 20 years later. That's the full title. I won't go through the whole I will, but I won't really I won't go through all the credits. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Our 3 main leads return. Nev Campbell as Sydney, Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers, and David Arquette as Deputy Dewey. Jamie Kennedy is back as Randy as well. Then you have that. So those are probably the 4. Aside from Roger Jackson, the voice of Ghostface on the phone, those are probably the 4 that have come from the first film. Here's our whole brand new cast. For the second film, you had Jerry O'Connell as Derek, who plays Sydney's boyfriend. He's obviously in Stand By Me in the TV show Sliders, which is not as good as Quantum Leap, so I don't want to hear it. I would never say it was. I like Sliders. I would never say it was as good as Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap's a top 10 show for me. Sliders is nowhere near the top 10. It's a show I enjoyed. Goddamn right. Timothy Olyphant is in this film as Mickey. He is the film fan, the film aficionado. Yeah, Randy calls him the Quentin Tarantino nerd or whatever. Right. TV show Justified. He's actually also in the movie Go, a movie we did. And then Alien Earth, the TV series that we covered this past year. Because we have to cover all the alien stuff now. Exactly. Oh my God. Every time I see an announcement for they might be doing Alien vs. Predator 3. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to cover that. I lied. Lee Schreiber's back. I'm sorry. It's Cotton Weary. He's in the first one. He's not really in the first one too much. Well, that's why I had asked the question. I was like, did they know he was coming? Yeah, back. Yeah. Yeah, so he clearly they did 5-page script or treatment. Exactly. But Cotton Weary is more of a character in this movie. Obviously Schreiber's from the TV show Ray Donovan. He's also, if you didn't know, the voice of NFL Films. If you watch any Hard Knocks. Oh, is he? Yeah, for HBO. He does. I've watched a couple of those. All that. Yep. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Laurie Metcalf as Debbie Salt. We'll get into who she actually is later on as we discuss this. She is obviously from the TV show Roseanne, and then it became The Connors. It's so weird. Mother. We're watching this movie, and I'm like, I know her, and then I'm like, oh, really? Is that Roseanne's sister? I go, no way. I don't think that is. And it's just because her haircut is shorter that I was having trouble placing her just because she had a short haircut. And I was like, oh man, damn, it is Roseanne's sister. How do I not remember that? How did I question that? Do you ever see Lady Bird, the movie Lady Bird? She's great in that. I did. Yep. Yeah. She's also the mom in Toy Story, in the Toy Story series, for those who do not know. Oh, I did not know. Yes. Dwayne Martin as Joel. He is the cameraman that Gail brings to the campus from above the rim and down Periscope. Elise Neal as Hallie, who is Sydney's roommate. She's in Hustle and Flow and Logan. And then in the beginning of the film, we have the 2 deaths. We have the movie starts off with obviously the death in the movie theaters. That is Jada Pinkett Smith and Omar Epps as the couple that gets murdered. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in here real quick. She's also someone else who gets murdered. She plays the girl Cece. She is like a sorority sister. David Warner, for those who watched our Tron episode, who love Tron, David Warner from Tron is in this as the drama teacher. He's in it for maybe 3 minutes. Rebecca Gayheart, Portia de Rossi are also a bunch of sorority sisters that are there. And then if you're looking at team in terms of like when they show the clips of Stab, the movie that's based on the events in this film, you had Heather Graham as Casey, as Stab Casey. Tori Spelling obviously is playing herself, but she's also playing Sydney. And then Luke Wilson's is Stab Billy. So you see them. They kind of show a clip there. And if you blink, if you missed him, Joshua Jackson, Pacey from Dawson's.
Yeah, he's in the classroom.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a ton of people. There's a lot of people in this film.
There's also young Will Arnett is in there. He's in the library. He's when she's scanning to see who might be texting. He's got to be like 18 years old. But it's like clearly Will Arnett. I was like,
I missed that. All right, cool. All right, Mike. I know you we talked about Scream, and I know I liked it. Obviously, you liked Scream. Obviously, I'm a little higher in terms of how I feel about Scream. So I'm curious if well, give me your first thoughts going in. I mean, actually, you know what? I'd like to know, like, what did you remember when you started watching it? What was kind of reminiscent? Like, because I know you said you watched this so many years ago. You forgot some of it. Yeah. What was coming back to you when you were watching it?
Cotton being kind of a douche. Timothy Oliphant, I thought he had more of a role, but I remember he was in it. And I remember Jerry O'Connell was like the trick. Like, you obviously suspect him, but it wasn't Jerry O'Connell. And that's pretty much what I remember. Oh, I remember there was the scene with the glass where Dewey's like pounding on the glass, but I did not remember him getting stabbed. I was like, I thought this guy survived. This guy survives. How is he surviving that knife attack? But that's really, I remembered Buffy was in it. Sarah Michelle Gellar was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered she got stabbed, but for some reason I remember her surviving.
She kind of dies the same way in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
That's, I think, why I was confusing it. Yeah. I was like, this is very similar.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think she did her own stunt. She actually was thrown from that, or I'm sure, obviously onto a giant pad below, but did her own stunt there. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, cool. So you kind of, all right, why don't we just get to, because I mean, we're a spoiler zone of a show. We don't really kind of hide behind it. So let's get to who the killers are. What did you think of that reveal? We find out that, because it wasn't really that, well, we'll get to all that later. Anyways, you find out that it's Mickey and Debbie Salt, who you find out that Debbie Salt is actually Billy's mother.
Yeah.
And that they are the two that are behind this killings. What did you think about that reveal?
At first I was like, really? But then the more I thought about it and the more I was kind of like watching it, I was like, this is very similar to the Friday the 13th films, and very similar to Mrs. Voorhees, Pamela Voorhees. And I was like, I kind of started to dig it as I went. I was like, obviously you weren't expecting it. So it was a kind of a cop out in that I was really hoping to solve the mystery of who Ghostface was. But the more I thought about it and the more like when she went off the rails, I was just like, I really like this. I like what they're doing with it. I get and again, this is a reason I wasn't a huge fan of the original Scream when I first saw it. And when I watched this movie, it was just kind of a flash in the pan. All this kind of this meaty homage to all these other films. I really liked her being the killer because of that kind of homage it was giving off, and how just absolutely psychopath. What a psychopath she was. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. And then Timothy Oliphant's reveal as one of the other Ghostfaces, I kind of figured he was going to be Ghostface about halfway through the movie when he stopped showing up in the film. I actually watched this. I told you off air. Elise actually stayed up the whole time and watched this movie with me. And she was really enjoying it. And I was like, Timothy Oliphant hasn't shown up in about 35 minutes. So I'm going to guess he's the bad guy. But I really like Metcalf as the main Ghostface. I thought it was good.
Now, I don't know. It depends if you believe this, but they say that the original killers in the first script were Derek, which was the boyfriend, and Hallie, which is her roommate. Like, they were the original killers. And then for some reason the script was leaked. So they changed it to Mickey and Debbie Salt, Billy's mom, that they changed it. And that in the original script, Mickey is killed by two ghost faces. Like, he's actually killed by the two of them at the same time. So I don't know. I know that through the notes here, and through the notes for Scream 3, which we're recording back to back for those who don't know, it's very evident that there's a very real there's a real purpose for them to try to fool, people trying to find out who the killer is. Like they're definitely putting fake scripts out there, fake endings. So who knows what's real and what's not? Because like in 2017, Williamson comes out and says that the leak script had dummy endings because they were worried about leaks. So they were specifically leaking bogus endings. So
right, which is a part of Scream 3, obviously.
Right. And you got to take that for what it's worth. Pardon the pun, with a grain of salt. Not a Debbie salt.
I don't think it would have worked with them as like, so Derek and her friend is her
roommate and her boyfriend. Yeah. Nah, I mean, well, that's why. So there's the one of the reasons why they say that is when you go back and look at the film, when Derek showed this in the sorority house. When Derek shows up, all of a sudden he got away, and I mean, it could work both ways. It casts suspicion on him, like, oh my God, is he the killer? But then maybe that's what they're saying. So again, I think you just have to, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to just kind of like, maybe not. It makes much more sense for it to be Billy's mother. It makes much more sense that like, Sydney never runs into Debbie Salt throughout the entire movie. And then at the end, she's like, she knows Mrs. Loomis, like she knows who she is immediately.
Right.
So, I think I think the ending makes sense. Like that was the original way they wanted to end it, but I could be wrong. Who knows? What did you think of the opening? What did you think of the opening movie in the movie theater? I
liked it. I think it ran a little too long.
Okay.
But I do enjoy it. You obviously have the person that's not a fan of horror films, Jada Pinkett Smith's character. And then you got Omar Epps, who's obviously really into it. And he's just like, they're trying to have a good time. And they're talking about movies. It's very meta. It's very similar to the conversations that were going on in Scream 1. I like that everyone's got the Scream mask. The whole time I'm just thinking all these people with these fake knives would not fly in theaters today. We would be having a big problem with those masks. Back then for sure. So I liked it, and that craziness, that hype for the movie. You see that in a lot of early 2000s, 90s. Yeah.
When what in the movies?
When the first,
Did you have PTSD for having to clean that theater when it was done? Like just
absolutely, yeah.
Filmmaking?
When they're throwing the popcorn, yelling at the movie, I'm like, oh God. Oh, that's a we got to hold the trailers. We're pushing the trailers on this one to get the film out on time.
I just wanted one shot in that scene where there's actually two people who want to see the movie and they're pissed off because everybody's screaming and yelling and they're just like, I came here to see the movie. I came here to see Stab 2. It's Stab.
I had the same
thought.
The only time you get that is the people that tell Jada Pinkett Smith to shut up when she starts commenting. And it's like, everyone else is yelling. Who cares? Yeah. At this point, it's too late. You can't stop her.
Do you like how they are kind of working in that they're killing people with the same names from the first film? I mean, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't think you needed that. I thought it was like, they're also just killing people near Sydney. I mean, obviously the first people aren't near Sydney. So that stretch wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Like cool, I guess, but
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the Scream 3. They're finishing the job that was started in Scream 1. I'm like, that makes more sense to say that.
This film also feels like in terms of because all the Screams really have an overarching theme in what they're trying to say about horror or movies, or modern day audiences, and we'll get into that more with like Scream 3, Scream 4, moving on. But this film felt like more of an extension of Scream, where they kind of talk about how in Scream, obviously Billy has that famous line that, don't blame the movie, Sid. Movies don't make psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. They have that line. This one kind of they're kind of capitalizing a little bit more on that. Like in terms of like Mickey's, like, I'm going to blame the movies for what I did to get off, and Debbie Salt is just strictly about revenge. But like so I felt like Scream 2 is more of a continuation of Scream, not really its own thing. What do you think of that? In terms of the theme of the killers and what they're doing and what they're saying?
I would agree with that. You also have Randy continuing his talk about how they're basically in a movie. I know he comes back in 3 and has a little thing about it, but this one really expands on that, or continues it rather. They have that conversation in the classroom that's very similar to the conversations they had at the video store in the first Scream. But I would agree. I think Mickey's whole line about blaming it on movies and stuff is very in line with Scream 1, whereas Scream 3, like you said, is going to have like a different take on a variation on that kind of meta-ness. That's not quite this one. Yeah.
I know that a lot of people had issues or like were bummed when Randy gets killed in this one, and to the point where they thought about they were going to bring him back, like he survived it. And I never thought about this back then, like, oh, it's too bad he died. But I think he has to die in 2 because I think the Randy shtick would wear thin if it continued on through 3 and potentially 4 if they did a 4th one. Like, I don't need and they kind of carry on Randy's, and you'll see this later on, they kind of carry on Randy's mantra because he has, you meet Randy's nephew and niece in like 5 and they kind of they have the same kind of thought process as Randy. So you get that.
Because you get the videotape and his sister in 3. So
yeah. And then his sister carries through 5 and 6. She's there for the next 2 and her kids. And they end up, we'll get to it. But anyways, so I kind of think like Randy has to go at some point because what else would he be doing? You know what I mean? Like he can't just keep doing this.
Yeah, I would have preferred him to be in the 3rd one rather than just be a videotape. I mean, the videotape was funny, but I would have preferred him to be like anybody could go in the 3rd one. And then that's when he goes. It's like you think he's kind of the most prescient person, so he would have to be surviving to tell us all this stuff about movies. And then if you killed him like halfway through or at the beginning of 3, it'd be like, wow, okay. But I'm also cool with how he went, because he just starts shit talking Billy Loomis and Stu. And obviously that's not something that Mommy Loomis is going to enjoy. And, or even like, as he's starting to insult them, I had no idea who it was going to be, who the killer was. And I'm thinking this person clearly idealizes these people. And he's just like basically talking smack about him. Of course he's going to get it. I was like, so just wait. I was like, he's going to go.
Cause you usually, when we watch any of these type of films, you know who the killer is going to be. You usually tell me, hey, I knew it 10 minutes in. And so you were you didn't know.
Oh no. Yeah. I love that this movie had me guessing the whole time. I was like, oh, it's this guy. Everyone has an alibi or everyone has suspicions like cast upon him. Every single character. And I thought that was really great. I mean, I knew Mickey was going to be one of them. Like I said, about halfway, I knew Oliphant was going to be one of them, but yeah, I had no idea about Mrs. Loomis. I did not remember that part. And when it came out, I was like, oh, all right. I had no idea this time. I was making guesses left and right. It's this guy because of this. The only one I remember was like, remembered it wasn't Jerry O'Connell, that he was the fake out.
Right.
But I was like, man, I can't remember. It could be anybody.
That's good. That's good that I kept you guessing.
Yeah.
Would you have liked this film if Robert Rodriguez directed it? Because he was close to directing this. Because Craven didn't want to do a sequel. He didn't want to get typecast. Apparently, he wanted to do
the 90s already. It's too late, Wes Craven. Yeah. You're the horror guy.
He ultimately changed his mind last minute, and Rodriguez went on to direct The Faculty. But would you have liked the Robert Rodriguez directed Scream 2?
I really like The Faculty, so probably with the same script. I mean, I think a lot of Scream has to do with once Wes Craven set the precedent from the first one. I think a lot of Scream is in the writing, and obviously I know Kevin Williamson doesn't write all of them, but I think that with Kevin Williamson writing number 2, I think it would have carried over the things I really like about 2. Although I'm glad Wes Craven came back and did the second one as well.
Well, we talked about in the first film, in the first lead up episode, that the thing with Scream is not just horror, but it's a whodunit. So it's working on 2 levels there. So, and to case in point to what I was talking about before, about how the secrecy behind the script, the cast didn't know the killer until the last day of photography, and they didn't receive the last 10 pages of the shooting script until it was time to film them. So they had all to sign NDAs to get to once they discovered it, so they would not reveal the killer's identity and whatnot. So there was pretty serious times.
So did Oliphant just kind of get the script and think, oh, I'm the killer. All right. Looks like I got another couple days shooting.
Pretty much, I guess. Yeah. I mean,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to shoot in order to do that. So, yeah.
At least somewhat in order, yeah.
Yeah. Because that ending scene on the stage would have to be one of the last things you shoot. Do you like that Weary is the kind of saves the day a little bit there at the end, or no?
I do, because you set him up as this kind of smarmy. Well, first it's like, I thought she knew Gale. So you set him up against Gale, and then you kind of get him in the library, and he's such a prick. And you're just like, if it was Cotton, it would be too easy. But you're kind of like, screw Cotton. Cotton sucks. And then Cotton kind of saves the day, and you're like, all right, maybe Cotton sucks because he has been given like a raw deal for way too long. And so now it's kind of broke his brain a little bit. But I do kind of like that. I kind of like where it went, although we don't get a lot of time with Cotton.
No, we haven't even talked about how the return of Gale and Dewey, their relationship. Tell me your thoughts on I don't want to say maturation, but the growth in the both characters from 1 to 2 and where they are now, and then where they end up in Scream 2.
Within 2. I think it's really well done. I think I was a real big fan of Dewey in the first one as well, because he wasn't quite the bumbling, inept cop that everyone else plays in films. Like he is a bit bumbling and inept, but he's not too far into it. He's still got a little bit of wit around him. And in this one, he is more mature. He does know his stuff. He's there to protect Sydney. He's a lot more serious. He's there to solve the case. We focus on him a lot. Like he still gets it, but I think I really like that. I like the relationship, that it's not like, oh, they lived happily ever after, because Dewey from Scream 1 is not mature enough to be with Gale Weathers in Scream 1. And I think that Gale Weathers is too hardened in Scream 1 to be with a kind person as like Dewey. And in Scream 2, they don't tell you, oh, we're going to be together, but you see Gale has that moment of caring about someone rather than her job at the end with Dewey. And Dewey kind of, I don't know, being not his ending, because he does just get stabbed again, but his investigation toward the whole thing shows that he is a much more competent police officer in this film compared to number 1. So I really like where they're going, and we'll get into it with 3 and stuff like that. But I really dug everything except for the glass not making sound when he's pounding on the glass. I don't buy that for a second. But everything else between the two of them, I thought that was really well done in the movie.
I think they're trying to say that the soundproof room. So I mean, the glass is soundproof as well, but yeah, that's fine. And do you like that he carries over his injury from the first one into this one? Because he's clearly dealing with that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I like it, but it's a little bit much to me. Like it's the hand and the walk, and it's just kind of like that's a lot. I mean, I buy it, I get it. It's nerve damage in his spine, but
you have to figure it's like 6 to 8 months from the events of the last movie, so he's not going to be completely healed.
Oh, you think that's all it's been? It's 6 to 8 months?
Well, I mean, granted, they're in California, so it's really difficult to figure out when their school year was. But let's just say it's in the spring. Let's just say their school year's in the spring. And now she's a freshman, so maybe it's not first semester. So let's say it's second semester. So you're in January. Yeah, I mean, you're not even a full year. I would say you're either a year or not even a full year from what happened to him. And if he's had serious nerve damage, it's going to take a while for him to heal. And as he moves forward in the series, he does get a little bit better in terms of his walk.
Yeah, and his hand isn't as
it's not paralyzed, it's not like the Rocky when he has brain damage in Rocky 5, and then all of a sudden that just goes away for every subsequent Rocky and Creed movie that he's in. All of a sudden the brain damage is not an issue. But but no, so it does get progress. I mean, he doesn't come back until he's in 4. He does slightly improve as the series goes on. So I think they do that. I think that's a little bit of an underrated gesture on David Arquette's part, carrying that injury throughout the series and kind of, holding on to it a little bit each way. Right. So I think that's well done.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I thought it was impressive that Neve Campbell is shooting Party of 5 on Mondays and Tuesdays during the day, then shooting Wednesday and Sundays primarily at night for this film. And this film is shot in Atlanta. for some
so
outside
she's
stuff.
flying.
The
Wow.
outdoor stuff is in Atlanta. So there's some times where she's traveling, and so I think it gets even more hectic the next film because she's doing 3 different things. But I think that's pretty impressive that she's just, because this is a quick turnaround. Scream comes out in 96. They greenlit Scream 2 as the movie's being edited or as it's coming out.
Yeah, I think you said edited last time. Yeah.
And then they're right back at it because they shoot this film June to August of 1997. So that's impressive.
That is quick
turnaround. It comes
turnaround.
out. Yeah. I mean, it goes to end of August, and you're out middle of December. Like you got 8 weeks, 10 weeks to edit this thing. I mean, it's not special effects laden, so you've got that luxury, but still, it's tough.
Yeah. And if you had a decent idea as you were making it, then I guess it makes it a little easier, at least maybe.
And this film scared off Titanic and Tomorrow Never Dies. They moved their release dates to avoid that.
That's impressive. You don't get that. Like James Bond and James Cameron, the 2 Jameses moved their stuff. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. So
and they were probably right to.
Right. So my question to you was, this film as of last year has the highest approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't personally take stock in, but it's got an 82% approval rating, make it the best reviewed film in the entire series. That's including the first one. Do you agree with that?
Yes. I like Scream. I have my problems with Scream. My problems with Scream are mostly Billy Loomis. Mm-hmm. This movie is so fun, so well done. I think they take that meta conversation to another level. I think that everybody's on the top of their game. I thought this movie was fantastic. I think it's why Elise was like, when are we watching the third? Whereas even the first one she watched, she's like, it's all right. I really, really thought this was so well done. And I think this movie is the reason Scream lives on in terms of so many sequels. I mean, I know the first one is like unprecedented in like what it did in terms of meta-ness and bringing back that. But I think the reason Scream as a franchise stays on is because they made a second film that is just as good, if not better than the first. And that's what's carried it through and allowed them to make sequels, which is pretty par for the course for, I think, a lot of horror series. Nightmare on Elm Street, notwithstanding, that second one isn't very good. But Friday the 13th is the second one's really good. Ups the body count, is more fun, I think, a little bit. There's a lot of movie examples like that. Aliens. I'm sure there's more that just aren't popping into my head right now. But sure. I really, really, really liked this one. And we'll get into Scream 3 and my opinions on Scream 3. But I think Scream 2, I think it'd be hard to top Scream 2. I really liked this film a lot. I think the writing was just not flawless, but for the movie that it's supposed to be, it was nearly flawless. It was really, really good. I had a lot of fun with this movie, which is what you should have in a Scream. Like you said, it's a whodunit. It's a horror movie. And I think this one ups that comedy factor a little bit, which doesn't make it ridiculous, but every scene is just so watchable, and you have characters you care about in a horror film, which I think is important.
I think to your point about why this series carries forward, I think it also, they kept the main 3 at some point in each of the next films. The reason why when we talk about 6, we'll get into 6. The reason why 6 doesn't work is Sydney's not there. But all these other films keep the 3 in there. The original 3, they're in the film. Like, that's very rare for a horror series, to last this long, to continue to have, like, sometimes you'd have like original characters come back after a couple episodes away, like I think that obviously for Nightmare on Elm Street and whatnot. So
Final Destination did that.
Yeah, but they have continuously still been in there in the film, and I think that says something. Just kind of like, they don't run away from the franchise, which is nice to see. I do think this film is a little too long. I think 2 hours is a tough runtime for me.
I think they're all too long, but yeah, I think 2 hours for a horror film is too long.
So I do think that it drags a little bit. And
do you think Scream 1 is too long? Because Scream 1's a couple minutes longer.
There's a couple of parts in there that drag, but like my issue, but like Scream 2, like the cops are dumb. Like the cops are just bad. The cops that are
Oh, the
protecting
two
her,
detectives who can't take out one dude
they're
outside
awful.
of a car.
They're awful. They're terrible. Colleagues. You can't. This is who you get, and like the fact
get
that
out of the way, get in this stairwell where we can't see.
Right. So like, let's just assume that that's Mickey as Ghostface who kills them in the car. Okay. It's clearly not Debbie Salt, but like, so let's just assume that, but like, come on, like this kid bests you. Like, they're just not good. They're just not good cops. And then when like, just like you said, like Cotton just shows up and they're just kind of like, they're like walking around like you're supposed to protect her. Don't put her in the corner. Like, stay right here. There's a stairwell right there. It's not like she's in the corner. No one's going to come from behind. Oh, look at it is. It's Cotton Weary.
And he's super harassing her too. It's like, like, come on, guys. You don't notice that?
Yeah. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. Did you see the alternate titles they had for these films? This film, Scream Again.
Titles?
Yeah, Scream Again.
Oh wait, I think
Scream
I did see
Louder. Scream the sequel. God, just Scream 2 is fine. Like,
first of all, I think Scream Again is okay. Scream Louder is the porn parody of Scream. That is not.
I think Scream Again was going to be the title, and then one of the wine scenes or somebody just said no, it's going to be Scream 2.
I'd be okay with Scream Again. It's like a Die Hard kind of situation. Die Hard, Die Harder, Die Hard.
Die Hard. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yeah. I do have some reviews for you. Well, not really. I have two people reviews. There's Janet Maslin, your favorite. Scream 2 almost works as a straight satire. It's so sharp, pardon the expression, that no pretty young things absolutely had to die.
Oh, so she liked it, I guess.
She's saying she's not taking it seriously.
I mean, that's fine if you enjoyed it, at least. I don't know how serious we're supposed to take Scream.
I mean, it's serious for Sydney. People are trying to kill her. Yeah.
I mean, it's a horror movie, but it's not like, I don't think of it in the same way as like a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, certainly not the later Nightmare on Elm Streets, but like the first Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Friday the 13th, it's not quite that kind of slasher where it's, it's kind of like, I think it's meant to be like throwing your popcorn up in the air going, like hooting and hollering like they do at the beginning. But yeah, I don't understand if her review is good or bad.
Kim Newman from Empire says some great comic and terrifying moments, but suffers for not being as original as the original. So the stuff that we talked about in terms of like, just like if we take the counter to what I was saying before, how this carries over the theme from the first one, she's kind of given a knock for that.
I get thematically, I suppose, but it's also a Scream film. So is it not like, this Godzilla film's got too much lizard hitting buildings? Like that's what the movie is. Right. Like I don't understand. I guess thematically is the only thing I could think of.
Well, plus you also have a character who is seeking revenge for what happened in the first film. So, it's going to, it's almost like it's a true sequel in its purest form, because it is still the same story. It's not just something new. It's a continuation of what the stuff that happened in the first film. This is what happens with all the stuff you did. This is kind of now, this is what has happened now because of that. I can't think of the word, but yeah.
I have nothing. I got nothing on that one.
I got nothing.
It is what it is. I don't agree with that review, but okay.
That's fine.
I mean, I think it's right. I just think it's still a really good movie. I'm not knocking the movie for being a sequel.
So for you, the Scream franchise right now, 1 and 2 is this. We're going up a hill here. We are improving on the first one, and you're so excited for Scream 3. So
yeah, I was like, I know we're filming these back to back, so clearly I've seen it. Yeah. I'm trying to hide like what my thoughts are for Scream 3, but yes, I was, when we watched Scream 1, I was like, I like Scream 1, but I really don't get why Scream is such a popular franchise. But Scream 2, I mean, even on top of like my horror movie rankings, like Ghostface is on the rise. Is like he's up there now. Like I was really surprised by how much I like this movie.
So we'll get into Scream 3 next, and we'll talk about that in the next episode, the next lead up. Is there something I missed with this that I haven't talked about? Any scenes that you wanted to point out, or something that I haven't brought up?
The one thing I was a little like, well, if this is supposed to be like a repeat of the murders or whatever, they never really talk about Sydney's father at all, who wasn't part of the murders. Like they're going after everyone who's a part of the killings.
Right.
They ignore Sydney's. I know in the third one, Sydney's dad is back in it. But in this one, they completely ignore him, which I thought was really odd. It didn't really hurt the movie too much. And obviously, you've already got a 2-hour runtime. But I thought it was a little weird that he wasn't even mentioned in the film.
Well, they also, So, and then they also have the whole thing like, Jada Pinkett Smith's character is Maureen. So, they're killing people, they're killing
that
people
are named. Yeah.
But that kind of dies off as well. It doesn't really kind of come back a little bit.
As soon as they point it out, it's no longer important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They also dip into the meta-ness of themselves with the stab movies, being in the background, but that'll come into play more so in the third and fourth film and throughout the franchise. The whole stab franchise becomes its own franchise within the Scream franchise, which is pretty cool. So I think that's good. I think we talked about. Did we talk about it last time that they should just make a stab film? They should just make a stab movie.
It wasn't on a Scream episode. It was on another episode where you started talking about that.
Just make stab. Just do stab and just have it be just have it be its own franchise. Because they will. They'll get there. Because then you could do things in the stab franchise that you can mess around with Scream, but it's not really Scream. It's stab, so you can get away with it. So I think
true.
So
do stab as Paramount Plus streaming movies, and Scream are your theatricals.
Yeah. So you could definitely play with it and kind of have some fun and you can kind of do like all the fan theory stuff, like Billy and Stu are in a relationship, like that kind of stuff that they talk about.
Oh yeah.
Scream. You could dip into that. So, So anyways, all right. So we're going to move on to Scream 3 later. That's our next episode. Obviously not right now, but our next episode. Why don't you let them know where they can find us, Mike? Because I got nothing else.
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast. You're watching, listening to us right now. Rate, review, subscribe, comment. When you first saw Scream 2, who did you think the killer was going to be? If you remember, or if you're just going to be like, hindsight's 2020. I always knew it was going to be Billy.
I knew it was Mickey and Debbie Salt.
I knew it. But let us know in the comments below if you like this Scream lead up series. We have more. So we have our Forgotten Horror series you could watch. We've gotten lead ups of the Alien series. If you like horror, we've got, we did The Things on our Patreon. That's right. We have a Patreon. We have exclusive series there. We have look backs, including Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. And we did New Nightmares, our last Forgotten Horror. We've got our regular show every Wednesday about forgotten films that seem to be forgotten by audiences. And that's any kind of movie. And that is every Wednesday without fail. Go check that out. We have over 350 plus episodes for you there. Support us on Patreon or even for free if you just want to keep up with everything we're doing, because we do a whole bunch of stuff.
That's right. And then join us next time for Scream 3 as the Scream franchise and the Stab franchise goes Hollywood, literally. We'll new location. We're no longer at Windsor College. We are now in the real world, in Hollywood, for some meta-ness and for some messiness. So that is next week. That is our next lead up. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema Lead Up, Scream 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, that's not true. There was no dancing in this one. Oh, actually, no, there was. There was some singing, but that's it.